And welcome to the Jack and Cole podcast, episode 20, we think. Thanks for joining for the 20th episode. My name is Cole, and joined with me as always is my marvelous co-host, the Goblin Ringleader himself, AFK Jack. How you doing today, Mr. Jack?
We're here. We're doing the thing. It is also officially the 1 year anniversary of the channel's inception. I started this YouTube channel 1 year ago. It is officially one trip around the sun. We made it one down, a million more to go.
Amazing. And it just so happens to be Earth Day, so hopefully you're out there experiencing nature and enjoying that as it is. And shout out to amazing Mother Earth for housing us, as it were. We've got some exciting news here today. We've got some, as you're seeing on our screen right now, some universes beyond slash within updates, some commander bracket, as well as banned and restricted announcements, or should I say unbanned specifically. So some exciting things going on right now. We should just go ahead and kick it off. Jack, if you want to get started with the opening paragraph for this article named Through the Orman Paths and Digital Universes Beyond Updates.
Every time we release a Universes Beyond set, we get a similar question. Is this gonna be on Magic the Gathering Arena and Magic the Gathering Online? We've typically handled this on a set by set basis with an answer that has either been fully yes or demonstrably no. We'd love for the answer to always be yes, but sometimes things just don't work out that way. But all along, we've wanted a more permanent solution. And with the Universes Beyond sets being legal in all formats, starting with this year's releases, we need a consistent and reliable answer. Enter through the Omen Paths. I will say, Cole, I don't ask this question. Do you ask this question when a set comes out? Is this going to be on Arena or mtgo? Because I just assume everything goes straight up.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, because like I thought that with like Assassin's Creed, and then when Assassin's Creed, well, I guess is Assassin's Creed on Arena?
It's on Arena, bro.
Is it? Okay. Yes, it is a question that I ask myself. Sometimes it's like, are we getting this? Are we not getting this? I feel like most of the times the answer is yes, you're getting this, unless it's like, I don't know, Commander Precons, I feel like are famously not on Arena most of the time and so forth. But like, I don't know. I just want the things that I play in a digital format to be available on paper and vice versa. So naturally, I think that this is a question that we're asking ourselves when that's not a given. But
Yeah, and so I just wanted to ask that question because like I can imagine for a newer player, right? You're wondering what's gonna be on Arena, what's not gonna be on Arena. But like it's kind of weird to think that you have to read an article to figure out that the cards that you open in your packs might not be the same as the cards that you open on Arena because there's licensing like things that they can't allow, and that's something that we'll get into later.
yes, we're
But
getting
it's
a little
it's
ahead of
it's
ourselves
crazy.
with that. Well, yes,
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'll just keep reading if you want me to keep reading the rest of this.
go for it.
Through the Omen Paths releases will be digital sets that are universes within versions of universes beyond sets that otherwise wouldn't be coming to digital magic platforms. These digital cards will be mechanically identical to their universes beyond tabletop counterparts, but with unique creative treatments, different art, and different names. We will not be creating through the Omen Path sets mirroring every universe's Beyond set, only the ones that will not be coming to digital platforms. This lets our formats remain mechanically at parity with one another digitally without having to create patchwork solutions here or there. We are also currently only planning to create through the Omen Pass releases for full sets that are legal in all formats. For the remainder of 2025, two Universes Beyond sets will be coming to MTG Arena and MTG Online: Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy and Magic the Gathering Avatar: The Last Airbender. One 2025 set, Magic the Gathering Marvels, Spider Man, as well as future Marvel sets coming to Magic, will not be coming to digital Magic platforms. Instead, we'll be releasing our first Through the Omen Path set on September 23rd. We'll have more information on that set as we get closer to the release date.
Yes.
I'm sorry about the voice.
No, I think it. You know what? It's fabulous, and you can
It's
probably
like the
slice that
the
up for
anime
some.
announcer voice.
Put that in your shorts. I think that'll be like a good thing to slice up. But how do we feel about this line of paragraphs? Basically, what this means. Nate's out here in the chat, wild and yeah, be careful, Nate. I might ban you. Just kidding. Um, it's interesting to think that, like, they're putting in all of this time and effort and money into getting these licensing pieces, right? This IP, and then them being like, "Oh, wait, just kidding. It's only for the digital portions of like or it's just for the paper portions because we only could pay for, like, the IP at the time of print, and then we could print a certain amount, and then we had to, like, give our IP rights," and whether it's, like I don't know, so that's the TLDR is there are some sets that are going to be reskinned on Magic Arena. They will not be the same. They'll be exactly the same mechanically, but they'll have different names, art, and flavor, and probably borders. What does that mean? Well, as a limited player, that's a fucking nightmare. So you basically have to like memorize two different like it's one card, but there's so many things about like a card that you can memorize based on its art and likeness and how familiar it is, and you have to like I don't know. It's just kind of a nightmare for limited players.
It seems like yeah, it seems like an issue where it's something that you don't want to have to be a part of the game, but now it's gonna have to. It just is a necessity of the game.
Yeah, totally. So I think that it's like a confusing announcement, to be honest. I also think it's kind of funny. Like I heard the MTG Grandcast talking about this, and they're like, Spider-Man makes sense within its flavor, having like a spider and man, right? But in like a reskinned version where it's just like Arachno Man, random, like
Oh
this is
God,
just a man person, spider person, but it's not
yeah,
Spider-Man. It's just
it's like his name is like Super Climber or like something, right?
yes,
It's
and
like you need to try to like make it as close to Spider-Man as possible without actually like crossing that boundary,
that's just
and
gonna
that's tough to do. Right? It's gonna be like really tough to market. It's gonna be really hard to sell, and it's gonna be something where it's like people on Arena are gonna want to play with the Spider-Man cards because they're in paper, but they're not gonna be available in on Arena. It's only gonna be in paper, and that's gonna be frustrating.
yes, like all the people who are like, I'm so excited to play with my Spider-Man cards, and I only have them in Arena collection. Oh, by the way, all of the Marvel IP is not coming to your digital platform. You can only play it in paper. You wanted to play it in, you know, as a digital version, tough, tough. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not happening for you.
Imagine if you spent like $10,000 over like, years on Arena just trying to get the cards you want,
Yeah.
playing your decks, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna continue doing this forever because Arena is the future of Magic, and they're telling us that Arena is the future of Magic, right? So you like invest in your collection in Arena just to have them tell you that they're not gonna do certain things on Arena because they're either like whatever reason, right? It's just not happening. Like, is that devastating? Does that like cause you to not want to play the game? Like, you might lose like some whales over this. It's kind of insane because I'm sure there's arena only players who just play Brawl. I guarantee you. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah. So I am excited to see Final Fantasy, Avatar, The Last Airbender are both coming to Arena. That's cool. But yeah, it gives me pause, especially based on the amount of they said that they're going to be doing a lot of Marvel stuff in the next couple of years. Like Spider-Man is just the first thing down the pipeline. They've got more things already coming up for us for Marvel, and I'm concerned that this is not a sustainable solution to their problems. And yeah, I'm thumbs down on this personally, Jack. I'm not sure if you're thumbs up or thumbs down, but it seems
Two
like
thumbs down from the goblins.
yeah. But that's it. Just
Like,
wanted to
just
bring that to your local gamers' attention that there will be and, this was such a controversial thing when there was, like, the first ever secret layers were getting printed, and it was like The Walking Dead, and they were mechanically unique, and, like, okay, "Oh, we're gonna reskin these cards," and it's just like, cards exist within their flavor. Cards need to make sense when you read them. You're like, "Oh," or at least for me, like, it's very important that, like, a card exists within its flavor and its art, and it all just kinda jives together. But when you take like Marvel like the Fantastic, the Super Spider-Man, right? And then you just turn it into like a regular ass Magic card, like it's gonna be such a ginormous task. and I can only see it going poorly. So
Feel like they call him like Bob from accounting, right? Like they're gonna have to like do something like crazy, like not even close. And it that's the sad thing is like Magic is supposed to be canon. Canonically, you can look at one card, and if it's a legend, right, you can like see its like entire story through the game. And all the sets that it comes out in, and the different like cards that it's printed as, and so you don't really get to do that starting with this, right? Like if you're looking at something, you don't get to just be like, oh, gather a search on, if you just like look up Spider-Man, but on Arena it's a different card, you're not gonna have that like tie-in. And I think that you're right, the links from the story to the cards are like so huge
yeah,
because it's what allows us to like immerse ourselves in the game, like the flavor aspect of the game.
yeah,
And really it's the flavor that allows us the storytelling aspect of deck building that like really allows us to enjoy games like Commander. So
yeah. And
I
it gives
agree.
Magic its replayability where it's like the game pieces jive with you in a different way. It's like different from when you pick up like an Uno blue 8 versus
Yeah.
picking up like a Magic game piece. Like something speaks to you about that type of card, and it's not just the mechanics of the card, it's the flavor, it's the art. And if you haven't realized that by now, go take a look at some of your favorite art cards and really look at the art and appreciate that
Instead of
portion of
instead
it.
of touch instead of touch grass, go touch your cardboard.
Go
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 read your flavor texts. Do you eat your vegetables? Do you read your flavor texts? You
go
should read your
stare
text box.
stare deeply into the soul of your cards and get along. But that's all we have for you for this announcement. It's quick, and we can move right along to the next topic, which is Commander Unbans. We've got some stuff going on here. We do not need to go through the entire article by any means, but we can just go through the headlines. So, what happened, Jack, as of today?
So in Commander, Gifts Ungiven has been unbanned. Sway of the Stars unbanned. Braids unbanned. Coalition Victory unbanned, and Panoptic Mirror is unbanned. Cole, do you know what Panoptic Mirror is?
I had to look it up this morning to figure out what it does. It should be here.
It's
So
a
it's a
it's a card that
5
good.
mana artifact. It's got X tap. Its imprint cost is an activated ability of X tap, remove an instant or sorcery card with mana cost X from your hand from the game. So stay with me. Time warp. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you copy an imprinted instant or sorcery and play the copy without paying its mana cost. So you can like keep dumping spells into Panoptic Mirror, but really you just want to dump Time Warp and then you win the game.
Extra turn spells are the easiest way to break this card. It's the only card that easily loops. It's like Eternal Witness that auto casts the card. Actually insane. Yeah. The game is over immediately.
The game,
and and then someone also said, "Oh, well if you just put an Armageddon under it, that works too."
yeah.
You're just like they're
So
just not playing the game. So they're like it's fine because, Shatter's played now. The Coalition Victory I think is a little more dubious. Cole, any thoughts on Coalition Victory?
oh, these I don't know. These are
They're
interesting
so
unbans
fascinating.
to me. I think these are strategic unbans because we now have the bracket system. Just like they
Yeah.
said here, it's like this is addressed through bracketed play. The fact that you can't play, restriction like combos, it just wants to make sure that like so it kind of makes sense where it's like these cards are powerful, but at the same time, is it more powerful than what we already have going on? Like opposition agent and friends. Like is Panoptic Mirror really stronger than like any 2 card creature combo that costs 2 mana, or like 2 artifact card combo that costs 4 or like 4 mana each, right? Or like 4 mana total.
Yeah.
So I don't have a ton of thoughts on these. I think that it is interesting to note that cards like this, like people are like, "Oh, there's no chance that Gifts Ungiven would ever be unbanned." But now that we have bracketed play, we can say, "Okay, Gifts Ungiven is now banned
Shooters.
or is now
Yeah.
unbanned, but it goes into the game changers list." So,
Yeah.
whether or not this is gonna fix our issue remains to be seen, but I do personally like the push that they're doing towards, "Hey, we're not gonna tell you that you can't play with this card because Commander is a ridiculous format where really anything should be available to play." Um, but let's give you these guardrails. And so Yeah, any other, like, specific thoughts on any of these specific cards? Like,
So,
some of these cards, I'm like, "Why are we unbanning Sway the Stars?" But
yes, I think Sway the Stars is really funny if you have like a way to quicken it. It's a sorcery, but if you can quicken Sway the Stars, you can like cast a Bowmasters in response, Sway the Stars with the Bowmasters in the stack. You then do the thing, everybody's life total becomes 7, and the Bowmasters resolves. Oh, that doesn't work either.
nope.
I tried. I made a YouTube short about this earlier, and I said, well, if you have a Bowmasters in play and you Sway the Stars, then everybody dies. But there's this line of text on it that says you shuffle all permanents in, and then your
Yeah.
life total becomes 7. So the Bowmasters would be shuffled in, and you wouldn't have any damage triggers.
Yeah. I do believe that is
So
how that card is templated.
yeah, I was like, oh, you get to like win the game for 12 mana, but actually, son, you get to learn that you need to read your cards better for 12 mana. But
Yeah.
I think that these cards are cool. I think that overall gifts is probably going to be like something that's in, Storm is going to get really good. Sway the Stars is not going to be played. Coalition Victory is going to be played in Domain with Leyline. Braids is going to be played in mono black Dark Ritual decks. Besides that, I don't think any of the other ones are going to be played. Panoptic Mirror is really cool if you have like, again, Armageddon or Time Warp. But if you don't have exactly those cards are pretty bad. And so I think that overall these are good unbans, and I think that really one of the things that I'm really interested in, Cole, is if you scroll down from that announcement, another thing they announced was
This
things
one?
came off the things came off yeah, the same article. Things came off the game changers list. I believe.
No, I think
No.
that's this one.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
yeah.
these cards.
So now we're going over to we're leaving the topic of unbans. Now we're going over to the
So
bracketed play where we've got these game changers. And it's important to note, take a quick look, familiarize yourself with the bracket. They've updated this recently to make it look a little stronger. Um, Most notably, I think most people will try to fall into like bracket 3. It's right in the middle. You have access to 3 game changers in your deck. And late game 2-card infinite combos, no extra turns, no mass land destruction. So given that, um, then we can kind of go into the game changers topic, which is giving us parameters for like how powerful a deck can be. So coming off of that game changers list, what do we got?
yeah, so overall, I think those unbans are really good, and I think that the unbans are going to try to like stir people to play decks that they haven't been able to play in a while. Maybe someone's going to play a Coalition Victory in their Ur Dragon deck, sure. But like I think that a lot of those cards are going to inspire people to put lists together they haven't put together in a long time. Maybe try brews that they haven't tried before, and if that happens, then that's what the format's for. And that kind of just does tie into this, which is what I wanted to say, which is it looks like Wizards is trying to let people have more fun. Right? They're like, here, like you can have all these busted cards because we think that the bracket system is self-balancing. We think that you're naturally going to figure out where your cards want to be over time, with your play groups and your play patterns. And I think that, unbanning Trinisphere, unbanning Trouble, or taking these cards off the Game Changers list shows that, like, you know, stacks isn't necessarily, was it 5? Like, what's the highest tier? Is it 1
Uh,
or 5?
so 5 I think is the highest tier CEDH. 4 is where like the strongest people's decks are going to be without being CEDH, and then yeah.
Okay. So I think this is a nod to them not thinking specifically that stacks is CDH level. I think this is them being like, oh, Trinisphere is totally fine, right? You can play Trinisphere in a level 1 deck because people just need to like learn to pay for their spells, right? Like it's just like it's probably a nod to them saying, okay, you can have all these busted cards, and we believe that by giving them to you together, you'll naturally balance yourself out, right? You can only play so many game changers in a lot of these tiers, and if you're playing at the highest level, it doesn't matter if you're playing an 8 mana or 10 mana spell. You're gonna die on turn 3, right? Like
Yeah.
they're they're incentivizing people to try and experiment and do new things, and for that, I'm excited.
Agreed. Yeah, I think Trinisphere is an interesting one. I agree that it doesn't necessarily need to be on the game changers list because it's like not very powerful against low powered pods, right? If everyone's battle cruising and casting 4 or 5 mana spells, Trinisphere does nothing. However, if your opponent is going like Thassa's Oracle, Dart, Demonic Consultation, they have to pay 6 mana for that combo. So it's like that does do a lot of stuff. So I think that like Trinisphere is a perfect example of a card that punishes a deck with a lot of game changers in it. Doesn't necessarily need to be a game changer. Trouble in Pairs, that card is absurdly strong, but I also don't think that it needs to be on the game changers list. Like I could honestly go either way on this one, but it's 4 mana. Like I'm okay with it not being on the game changers list. Like really, like there's a lot of really good card advantage options in Commander, so I think that letting
Yeah.
this one be just one of them is totally fine. So,
Well, yeah, give it to white. And then was there?
so those were the delistings.
I thought I saw that it was Smothering Tithe, but I must have read it wrong. No, it was
So
probably Trouble in Pairs.
Smothering Tithe is on the game changers list. Yeah.
Okay, good. That makes sense. The
Yeah.
card is insane.
Yeah, and they added a bunch of cards to the game changers list. So T Pro, Teferi's Protection, Humility, Narset Parter Avails, Intuition, which is mini. It's 3 mana. It's a mini gifts and given. You get two, you get one of them to your hand. No, you get three, and you get one of them to your hand. Um, Consecrated Sphinx, Necropotence, Orcish Bowmasters, Notion Thief, Deflecting Swat, Gamble, Worldly
Mm.
Tutor, Crop Rotation, Seedborn Muse, Natural Order, Food Chain, Aura
Hmm.
Shards, Field of the Dead, and Mishra's Workshop, all added to the
I
Game Changers list.
I agree with everything except for the gamble. Honestly, I think that if Red wants to throw away the card that they tutor for, they can do that any day of the week.
It doesn't make
Because I
sense
do
to
that.
me.
Because I do that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me until I look at the Game Changers on this graphic, where if you look at
Mm,
it, they're putting on basically all of the efficient tutors on the Game Changers list. So Gamble goes on
sure.
with Worldly Tutor, which is on with Demonic Tutor, Vamp Tutor, whatever the other one is for
Okay. But
black. It's also going on with I think
Mystic tutor.
mystical tutors on this list. So it's like all the cards that are extremely efficient are going to be going on this list, and they're saying just be wary of the amount that you're playing. And I think that that makes sense because it's like if your deck is like 5 tutors or whatever, your deck is CEDH at that point. Like you're consistent
True.
enough to put your combos together. So it makes sense to me. Crop rotation also on here for the same reason. Survival, same reason. Natural order. So, um,
I mean,
anything
I love
else
all
that doesn't make sense or like looks weird to you?
I love that I love that they would do more than rather than less because this shows that they're willing to try things, right?
Yeah,
They're like, okay, so we're not gonna just like hit the obvious answers or do nothing. They're gonna try to take an active like stance on this, and if some of these cards are just like, oh, this is like obviously like too good, then they bump it up from on the game changers to on the ban list.
yeah.
And I think that an aggressive stance like this should be taken to all the formats. All formats should be treated like this.
Let it be
Why
known.
why why are the commander bans the only one that make any sense? Come on, guys, gals, y'all. Can we think about this, please? Like,
Yeah,
if commander's the only sensible format, and that's the fun, do whatever you want, nobody gives a shit format. Come on.
yeah,
We need to try to figure this stuff out because standard needs to change, pioneer needs to change. Like, there's clear and concise problems, and the pacing is just not there. People are not getting the bands that they want in the timely fashion they need,
yeah,
and yeah, that's another issue for another day.
yeah. So this article is honestly really thorough. I think it's great. Like you could really tell they put a lot of thought into this. There's a explanation for all of the cards that are being added. So if you wanted to pause the video or visit the article, be my guest. So I think at this point, like I just want to second what you said. It's really nice to see them taking an active approach to Commander. I think that honestly, this is a format that deserves a lot of love and attention since it's like Magic's most popular format. And it's good to see, like, after all of these years, like things being set in stone. I know work has been done, lots of work and love has been done to cultivate the format, but it's good to see like this come out. Like how much work did it take just to get this? And like this makes sense to me, right? And I'm fairly happy with this bracket system. Is it perfect? No. But that's why having a conversation with your pod is a thing that you can do. Um, but yeah, sitting next to people, that you've never played Magic with before, this is really what this bracket is for, is just making sure that people don't get fucking ran over by someone's random, like, Winota deck when they're sitting
Yeah,
down with, like, their
you
Tyranid precon, you're like, "Oh, I have a level
I was just saying,
7." They're like,
yeah,
"Oh, yeah, I'm his power level 7 too." Like
yeah. You're like,
like
"Here's my precon, and I really just wanna enjoy this game and learn
yeah,
my cards." And your opponent's like, "Actually, I'm gonna pub stomp the shit out of you, and you won't get to read anything."
yeah,
And they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
no."
So you can hold them accountable, and that's what I think ultimately these are here for, and let us know if you feel anything is unwarranted uh, about these changes. We'd be happy to hear your comments and concerns and qualms and all that good stuff. But that's all I got for you.
Yeah, and if you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments down below. If not, if you enjoy Goblin's content, if you enjoy listening to me ramble, and Cole being very thoughtful and smart down there, hit that like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel, and it's free. And until next time, I hope you all have a beautiful day.
Peace.
Peace.